I really believe that India is going to be one of the greatest nations to be in the next 15, 20 years at least, and for many years after that. And so we need to prepare ourselves for that change. I think the world around us is falling apart any which way. Hi, this is R Madhavan, and you're watching me on peepingmoon.com.
Well, jaw-breaking literally for you. Rocketry, that is the reason I guess I should be introducing R Madhavan, because literally I think you modified this for the film, sir. Did
That's
you?
right, yeah. We got into the look and did things that most people have never done or seen in a film. But it was imperative because we all wanted to look our parts and look real, and didn't want any part of the film to look false or contrived.
But sir, does it also means taking a subject to extreme lengths, considering when you are donning so many hats, be it writer, director, producer, actor, was it a limit where even you tested yourself?
No, in fact, if I look back at it, it wasn't a rational decision at all. It was insanity at its best, and it's true because when you do a subject like this, you can't be thinking about whether you're tightrope walking or not. You're just walking ahead, looking at things that need to be done. I didn't want to direct it. I don't have the ability nor the qualification to become a director, but there was just a story that I had to tell. It was very compelling. And I did everything I could, and including my team that was possessed by the story and achievements of Dr. Nambi Narayanan, to tell the story. And so here we are today after 6.5 years, 2 years taken away from us because of COVID. But nevertheless, the film has been shot in 3 languages, dubbed in 7, shot in 8 countries with live sound, all actors speaking 3 languages, one line after the other. So it's just impossible task now. When we look back at it, I don't think we can ever repeat it again.
6 years, as you said, it takes in making. But what was the first time when you went to Dr. Nambi and told him that, sir, I would like to make a film on your life as a subject? And if I'm not mistaken, what I could see from the trailer, it is just not an airbrush version. I can see the good, bad, ugly, every part of it. What was his first reaction?
He was very suspicious of me because he said, yeah, he's a rocket scientist.
Exactly.
I'm an actor. He's made the most outstanding rocket engine in the world that has never failed.
You have made girls soon enough, so yeah.
Well, that's been my claim to fame.
No, that's just a joke.
But Dr. Narayanan was testing me constantly. When he was talking about the engine, he was talking to me like a 10-year-old student, and how they look at it. This is called atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure means the pressure that the atmosphere exerts on per square inch. I'm like, sir, tell me about. I started talking to him, and then he realized, oh, okay, so you're an engineer.
Yeah.
Then he started testing me about my aerospace abilities, and he started testing me about whether I knew what specific impulse was or lower orbital. And then I was like, I know all this, sir. And it was so beautiful that by the end of the entire research and our arguments and debates, he said, you should have been in my team.
Wow, that's such a compliment.
It is.
But Madhavan, what was the time, or if you could just rewind 6 or 7 years back and tell me, what possessed you with the idea of Dr. Sir's life? How did you even think of doing this impossible task?
Dr. Nambi Narayanan is not celebrated. Nobody even knows who he is. It's a crime.
I somehow feel that as a nation, we did this service to somebody who should have been at least even for a generation like us, who should be knowing this.
Well, not just knowing about him. It's important to celebrate him.
Exactly.
And he's only known for the spy case, which is very sad.
Exactly.
He's only known for things that that hurt him the most. But he's actually been given the Padma Bhushan. Exactly. Nobody knows why he got it. Nobody knows the capability of what he's invented and the implication of that in all our lives. And however much we may think that we're far removed from ISRO and space research and interplanetary travel, you'll be shocked how relevant it's going to become in part of your life in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So the fact that people should know about Dr. Nambi Narayanan, his achievement, and we should laud it, was the only reason that possessed me to make his film and tell his story.
How did you come across this idea? That was...
Actually, somebody mentioned to me that there was a good-looking ISRO scientist who had an affair with a Maldivian woman. And, he got...
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's all they said. And he was in jail and he was arrested for espionage and selling secrets of rocketry to Pakistan. And so I said, great, let's make a poor man's James Bond. And then I went and met him. And I realized he was James Bond ka baap, basically.
That's nice. So, what really warmed my heart was when you took Nambi sir to Times Square, where the trailer was shown, and the applause. The video is very endearing. What was his reaction? Because a man who has seen enough, not just in his life, but the other part of it also, maybe with what he didn't deserve. What was the moment like? I don't
I
know.
think it was the beginning of the vindication. I think the beginning of setting the record straight. It's the beginning of getting the algorithm to pick up all the good parts of Dr. Nambi Narayanan in Google, so that the spy case is just a faint memory.
Yeah, because now today when I was researching for it in the morning, trust me, that was not even in my first 10 searches at all.
Really?
Yes, and the only thing which I could was reading was you and how this entire mad, passionate project drove you.
Correct.
But were you even scared, as we say that, jack of all trades, master of none? At any point, was there a thought of maybe I might not be able to make it to the finish line?
When insanity sets in, there is no apprehension at all. You don't look back or front, you're just mad for it. And that's all I was. I mean, if I look at it now, maybe it looks really foolish. And at that time, there was no fear.
No fear at all?
No.
What was his, did he see the film?
Yes.
What was his first reaction?
I think he's not prone to first reactions and changing his reaction. He took his time to tell me that he has seen most things. He said, Maddie, I've seen most things than most men will ever see in their lives. I've seen more things than most men should see in their lives. And I thought I'd seen everything till I saw your film. And now I realize that a lot of people are going to get jealous of me. And I wanted to know if there was anything in the film that I've said that is not correct. But the answer to that is yes. So I said, thank you for giving me the desire to live long enough to see the public's reaction to this story and what they think of me.
When you walked out of the Vanity One for the first time, because there's this picture of yours sitting with him, if anyone doesn't recognize R Madhavan as an actor, it will be very difficult to make differentiation between two people sitting in that one frame. What was his take? I was taken aback when I saw the trailer. I'm like, no, this is just not real. And this is just not VFX. You really put your body through all the hardships which a performer needs to put out for an act.
So yeah, when I came out of the trailer looking like him, people started actually treating me like Nambi Narayanan. So even people who were calling me Maddie started calling me sir. It was great fun. Yeah. And I did something really funny. When I got into the look, I was basically unrecognizable.
Yep.
So it took me 18 hours. But when I went back to my building, the watchman didn't recognize me. He thought maybe Madhavan sir के चाचा दादा आ गए हैं. So he didn't like नमस्कार साहब आइए ये कहाँ जाना है आपको? And I said चलिए. Then I went home, I got my wife and she's like, what are you doing and all that. And I got her to the balcony and I took an angle and I took a picture of her kissing me. And I sent it to her brother saying, look what your sister is doing. I didn't expect this from her. And he like 3 o'clock in the morning like, what are you talking about? Who was he? I don't think Sarita is like that. This has got to be graphics.
Sarita's going to kill you.
This is like, yeah, what are you doing, man? You. And I said like, relax, man. And that's me right now. And he says, what? Then the kind of words he used to describe me, I can't say in this interview.
Yeah. Get that. So when Three Idiots came, I remember it left a lasting impact in a very good manner. Parents, education, there were topics which we also ended up picking up. Do you think after Rocketry we will have that kind of stimulating conversation among the peers and the society we are?
I sure hope so. I don't think just the society, I think individuals will start thinking about where they need to be and which side of the bread is buttered and what patriotism actually means.
Exactly.
And redefine it for themselves. And I think it's very, very important for a country in today's world to stay cohesive. I really believe that India is going to be one of the greatest nations to be in the next 15, 20 years at least, and for many years after that. And so we need to prepare ourselves for that change. I think the world around us is falling apart any which ways.
Exactly.
So I think it'll make people think.
I'm not asking you this, I'm making it clear beforehand. I'm not going to ask you what is South versus Bollywood debate, no. My point is when we make a product like Rocketry, it's the cumulative industry which comes together. We don't then see an SRK from a North as we call it, or Bollywood as we call it, or Suraya from the South as we call it. We put together a product which is at par the world cinema. Do you see that this is how we are supposed to see the cinema in general? You have been here for 22 years and I think you're the best person to ask this.
Well, yeah. I think, look, when you're at home and we have siblings, then you'll be fighting over each other's possessions and beds and clothes and shoes. But if the family is challenged, then all those fights are forgotten and you stand together and say, hey, you know what, watch yourself. Similarly, we might have small quarrels as a small town or state, but the moment that credibility is challenged, then you get together. Similarly, if India was challenged, then I'm telling you all the differences and the tamasha that is happening right now, all the
That's tamasha
every
only.
issue that we talk about, Hollywood, Bollywood, South Indian fight, all be forgotten. Let our borders get threatened. See what happens. So this is just time pass.
I think cinema is the best unifying factor we
I
can have.
agree.
Will you mind, sir, if I ask you a few things about the science?
Sure.
Just a
Go
few
ahead.
quick ones.
I'll try
And
my
you can
best
totally
to-
dismiss me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
If I have to ask you, what are India's Earth observation satellites as in IRS full form? IRS full form. IRS full form.
I don't know the full form of IRS.
It's called the Indian Remote Sensing Satellites. Oh.
IRSS.
IRS. IRSS, yeah, but IRS, as we said it. I said you can take me wrong.
I'm thinking IRS because I'm thinking of Indian Revenue Services.
Okay.
What has to do, huh?
What is the country's telecommunication system?
What is the country's telecommunication system?
Yeah, on which satellite? Because these are all based on
Insat.
satellite.
Huh.
Correct.
I think everybody knows that.
Trust me, when I was checking through my team, nobody had an idea what I was doing. Okay, what is the full form of, okay, I don't know how should I say it, NAVIC?
I have no idea.
It's navigation with Indian constellation.
That's what the Indian Almanac does.
Okay, and what is the full form of GSLV?
Geostationary Launch Vehicle.
Guys, I'm failing at it. He's taking it, so I'm not going to insult myself anymore further. But thank
I don't
you.
think a GSLV is what? I think it's a...
No, it's basically the correct pronunciation for the same is geosynchronous
Geosynchronous
satellite
launch-
launch vehicle.
Geosynchronous Launch Vehicle.
Yes. So that's what at least I checked everywhere
Yes,
around. Like.
geosynchronous launch vehicles.
Guys, by the end of it, I think we all should be very careful asking Madhavan anything because he has totally
No. Yeah, I'm not an authority on space or
But you,
planetary travel. But
I was so scared to even ask you this. I'm
No,
no.
but they are two different subjects.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is an engine. What I'm talking about is engineering.
What was your first experience when you saw an engine?
Fantastic! It looks like a diamond jewelry. The engine is the thing, and the engine and the mechanics of it is different from the. There are many departments in space. So when you send a rocket, there is one that creates the engine. And there are ones that make the payload, which is the satellites or the telescope or whatever is loaded on that. Then there is the actual launch vehicle, which is the rocket, which has many such engines and many such stages. So it's like asking, if I'm saying that I'm making the fuel tank in a car, and you're asking me how does the rear view mirror work, that's what you're asking me to do.
Guys, I think I should just call it a day here because I really need to amp up my work, but 7 years and counting, and I think everything should come to a fruitful end because what at least I have seen in the trailer is nothing but mesmerizing.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you.